Be'ezrat Hashem, as we're getting close to Shavuot, we're going to be staying up all night, reliving Matan Torah, Kabbalat Torah, learning Torah all night, as if we're being, as Hashem is revealing Himself to us on Har Sinai. It's an awesome, awesome Chag. I want to share some Divrei Torah, some Divrei Chizuk that I heard over from Israel Speed's very own Yonatan Siv, our Av Bayit, who every year gives over a shiur to the students. Some of you might have heard this shiur, but I think it's very powerful. What is the inner kavanah? What are we supposed to be thinking about? How are we supposed to be treating the night of Shavuot? Like, what is it all about? And there's two minhagim that we have on this night that are very unique, and through maybe understanding these two minhagim from a certain aspect, we might have a deeper understanding of the whole holiday itself. Okay, so the first minhag that we have is that we stay up all night itself, this whole concept of learning Torah all night. Now we know there's a simple midrash that says that Am Yisrael overslept when Hashem wanted to give us the Torah, so to make some kind of a tikkun, the Makubalim said we should stay up all night to show that we actually care. Okay, so that's one idea, but the truth of the matter is that while it's a nice deep idea, and the Makubalim, Maran Shulchan Aruch was into it, the Al-Shich, you have a big early Achronim, late Rishonim, who did this minhag based on the Zohar to stay up all night. But it's like a very hard halacha for the mainstream world. Now, Baruch Hashem, the mainstream is doing it. This is the popular minhag. We stay up all night, we learn. Although there is a small movement of rabbis are saying that it's not so healthy because, we're up all night and then what happens? We stay up until the morning sunrise, but we're so exhausted by sunrise minyan, our kavanah levels aren't so high, and then we sleep for almost the whole day, and we barely learn on Shavuot during the day when our mind is supposed to be fresh and excited. We're not learning. And how much do we actually really learn at night? By the time you finish dinner, to clean up after dinner, and then you make your first cup of coffee, and then maybe you go to a shiur or two starting around like 11, 12 o'clock at night. So you go to a shiur or two, and then they have a break in between shiurim, go to the bathroom, make another cup of coffee, cheesecake break, hot brownie break. How much are we actually learning? It already comes 4:30, 5 o'clock. We're already getting ready for minyan. So is it really so many hours? So Bezrat Hashem, yes, it could be so many hours if we actually take the time seriously. We're not wasting our time so much, getting that. You get that cheesecake too, but take the cheesecake back quickly and don't take a 30-minute cheesecake break. Get that plate, get the cheesecake, and go back and learn. And if the shurim that you're going to in your shul only start at midnight, then 11:30 have a pre-learning. So there is an opportunity to actually get a lot of hours in. But in general, even if we're not getting that much in, there's something else very deep about staying up all night, and it really is the minhag for a reason. Okay, so what is that depth? Why are we staying up all night? Another minhag that we have on Shavuot is that we eat dairy, halavi. We have that cheesecake. We're eating the dairy food. We're drinking that milk. Now we know the Torah is compared to milk and honey. It's the halab, tachal leshonech, with the dvash. Okay, excellent. But what's it all about? Why dairy? Why is that the minhag of Shavuot? Okay, so here's the idea that I heard from Yonatan. Chag Matan Torah. We got the Torah. We received our mission in life. We received purpose in life, meaning we have Torah. God spoke to us, revelation, biggest event in Jewish history. That's awesome. But many commentators actually explain, or many poskim explain, something else took place at Matan Torah. That Bnei Yisrael, and the Jewish people, actually became halachic Jews. Now there's a big debate amongst the Mefarshim where the earlier Jews, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, we know that they were spiritually Jewish, but were they halachically Jewish? Could you be halachically Jewish before this halakha, before there's the Torah? Okay, so maybe you're going to say that as we were leaving Egypt, God began giving us, Hashem gave us the first mitzvot of Pesach and the Korban Pesach, and then in the city of Marah, in the desert, we got a couple of mitzvot to prep ourselves for Matan Torah. But is that really halachic? Do we really, and before that, okay, Abraham had to do a Brit Milah. Was that halakha? Was that not halakha? What's going on? When does a Jew become a halachic Jew? So one of the easier answers is to say that, no, the truth is, we had some pre-halacha, and we were getting ready, proto-halacha, we were getting ready to keep Torah and mitzvot. A Jew really became a halachic Jew when we got the actual Torah at Matan Torah. Because what was Matan Torah? It was a conversion process. It was a gerut. We became gerim, we became converts to Judaism at Matan Torah. And this whole process started a little bit earlier at Yetziat Mitzrayim when we left Egypt. That's at the beginning, because what did we do when we left Egypt? We did a massive Brit Milah. And then at Matan Torah, we got the Kabbalat HaMitzvot. We accepted the Torah. So there's this whole version of conversion taking place. And even the Be'er Miriam, they say, was used for the mikvah. There's a whole process of us becoming Jews for the first time. At Matan Torah, it was like the completion of the conversion process when we accepted the Torah and mitzvot. So we became gerim. But what else do we know about gerim? What else do we know about converts? So halachically, a ger is like a katan shenolad. It's like a newborn child. It's like a brand new tinok that came into the world. And actually, if you read Rav Shimshon Pinkus, his Sfarim on Pesach and Shavuot, he actually discusses at length this theme that Am Yisrael was born, and how in the very beginning we were initial babies at Pesach. That's why we're so careful to get rid of all the chametz, to have a sterile environment because we're little babies. But then over the course of the next 50 days, as we get closer to Shavuot, it's like little kids that are beginning to grow and become Jews. So what do we learn from kids? What is the lesson? So it says Yonatan that Shavuot night, we're supposed to be like kids. What does that mean? So the first thing we learn from kids is that kids have a lot of excitement. They have hitlahavut, they have youthful exuberance. Kids are jumping for joy. We have to approach Shavuot, and we have to approach the Torah like a little kid who just got the Torah for the first time, is learning for the first time. Oh my God, we're getting the Torah. We have to get that excitement of what it is to be a kid. Another thing that we learn from kids is how to be a mekabel. A kid is much better than an adult of receiving from other people, accepting, learning from others, getting advice from others, because the kid doesn't know and he really wants to learn and understand the world. So too, we have to approach that Torah with that same excitement and that same desire to learn, to receive, to have that Kabbalat HaTorah. Okay, so the idea is that on Shavuot, we need to be like kids. And if we want a little bit of proofs that we actually like a little bit of hints, remazim in the Torah, little hints that we're supposed to that this whole concept of approaching Torah like kids exists. So he has a couple of proofs that he brings down. Number one, we have the proof of the keruvim. We know in the Holy Ark when Yosha Rabbeinu brought down those luchot and he wrote his Torah, he had to house it somewhere. So he put it inside the Ark in the Aron, and on top of the Ark were keruvim, and the keruvim would face down with their wings, looking down at the Torah. Now, what were the faces of the keruvim? So explain the mefarshim. The keruvim had faces like little children, youthful faces of children looking excitedly at the Torah. And people actually compare the two children. Why are there two? It's like the chavrutot, the chavrutas that want to learn with each other. So that's one idea that we see. We have the keruvim looking down on the Torah. We're supposed to have that same, the keruvim, those holy images we can think of, are looking down at the Torah like little kids looking at the Torah, are excited to get this brand new present from Hashem. Another proof that we're like little kids. So this is a little bit more halachic. If you open up Parashat Pinchas, so in Parashat Pinchas, it discusses the different holidays, and it goes through the different korbanot that are brought, the offerings that are brought for the Musaf offering. Every holiday has a special Musaf, and so too on Shavuot, we have a special Musaf. Now, by all the other holidays, it says that we would bring a Seir Izim, we'd bring a goat, Seir Izim Echad, Lechatat. We'd bring a sin offering, Lechaper Alechem, we'd bring a sin offering by all the other holidays, this goat sin offering. But by Shavuot, it's missing one of the words. It says, Sir Izi Mechad, Lechaper Alechem. You're going to bring a goat, one goat, to bring atonement, but it doesn't say Lehatat. It doesn't say for a sin offering. So why does it not say sin offering? So if you open up the Gemara Yerushalmi, this is in Perek Daled, Halacha Chet in the Gemara Yerushalmi. So says Rav Mesharshi Abeshem, Rabbi Idi, he says, why by all the other korbanot does it say the word Chet? And at Seret, by Shavuot, in Katuv Chet. So he says, Amar Len HaKadosh Baruch Hu, says God, Mikevan shekibaltem alechem ol Torah, since we accepted the Torah, Ma'aleh ani alechem ke'ilu lo chatatem yemechem. I view you guys as if you've never sinned in your life. Actually, Rabbeinu Bahaya on that same pasuk in Bamidbar in Pinchas in Kafchet pasuk Per Kafchet pasuk Kavav. So Rabbeinu Bahaya says similarly. He says, yeah, there's no sins here. You know why there's no sins? V'yesh litbonen. Lama lo iskir kan b'sir shel atzeret chatat. Why is there no chatat? Says Rabbeinu Bahaya. Keshem she'iskir b'chol ha'moadim shebarashar zo. How come over here there is no chatat like the other holidays? V'atam bazel derech hapshat. The simple interpretation is lefi she'atzeret zman matan Torah v'sham hayu Yisrael kenolad ze belochet, because we became like newborns, and a newborn that didn't sin yet. It's a little bit of a baby. So here also we're like newborns. We've never sinned. So therefore by Shavuot, the Musaf offering does not have the word chatat because there is no sins. We're like brand new babies. One third proof that we're like children at Matan Torah. So it says in Pirkei Avot, in Perek Hey, it says Ben Arba'im Labina, speaking about different years at different stages in our life. So it says when we're 40 years old, that's the time for Bina. That's when you can really get deep wisdom. If you listen to my Dvar Torah Naso this year, we speak about Bina. What is wisdom? What is that all about? What is Bina? So says the Bartanura, what does it mean that a year 40? That's when, why at 40 years old, that's when you get real wisdom. So he says, because after 40 years that Bnei Yisrael were in the desert, Amar lehem Moshe tells them, he says, you guys didn't have da'at yet, you didn't understand yet, you didn't have binah, saying the Bartanura, until now, meaning only after 40 years have gone by, only now do you actually have binah. So Tosfot Yom Tov there explains, what do you mean only now? Only now? So we asked, like, what are you talking about? You know, some people are 40 right now. Some people might be 50. You know, they were all different ages at Matan Torah. So someone who was 7 would be 47 right now. Someone who was 11 would be 51 right now. So not everybody's 40 years old. So rather he says, no, what does it mean 40 Labina? He says, because at Matan Torah, they were like newborns. So meaning everybody, no matter how old they were, when they received the Torah at Shavuot, they were just being born. And now everybody is 40 years later when compared to the Torah. So that's why it's Ben Arba'im LaBina. At 40 years old, you get the Bina, because at the beginning, when at Matan Torah itself, they were like newborns. Okay, so our Avodah on Shavuot is to be like little kids. And that explains our original questions. Number one, why are we staying up all night? Because you know what happens when you get something very excited? When Lahav, the little kid gets a brand new game, he gets a new video game, he's going to be up all night playing with it because he's just so excited. Even though the next day he's going to be all wrecked, it's going to be hard to function, but he knows, oh my God, he realizes the value and how exciting this new item is for him. He has to play with it. David HaMelech says in Tehillim, Lulei Torah techa shashuai az avati be'oni. He says, if not for the fact that the Torah was an object of delight, I would have perished in all my afflictions. Meaning, he calls the Torah a shashua. It's a toy. It's an object of delight. The Torah is supposed to be our toy. Lahavdi, like a little kid, we're supposed to be so excited about that. And on Shavuot, we want to reinstill that. We want to get back to our little kidness. We want to get back to our childhood and approach the Torah as a brand new, exciting toy. We know that every year we're learning more, we're growing more, and the more we know, the more exciting it's supposed to be. It's a brand new Torah, just like a little kid getting a brand new Torah. Every time I learn Torah, not only on Shavuot, every day of our lives, every single time we approach Torah with new eyes, we're supposed to get excited like a little kid who gets a new Torah. But on Shavuot, we really want to relive it because that's the moment of Matan Torah when we got it for the first time. And that also explains the second minhag that we have, to eat halavi, to eat milk. Who eats milk? It's little kids. It's the food for children. It's the child can't survive without the milk. That is the symbol of childhood food, is milk. So we eat the halavi. We stay up all night. We're trying to relive that excitement we had as little children, that lihid la'avut, that exuberance of a child, and give it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, give it to the Torah. Chag Sameach.